Assalamu alaikum students. So now today's topic is multiplying binomials. Yesterday's topic was multiplying a monomial by a polynomial. So we were distributing the term, the monomial, with all the terms inside the polynomial, and then simplifying it and then writing it in the standard form. So today we are going to learn about how to multiply binomials, meaning there will be two binomials. This is a binomial because it has two terms, and this is also a binomial because it has two terms in it. Now, how to find the product of these two binomials? There are two ways. The first is keeping in mind that when multiplying a binomial times a binomial, each term of the first binomial must be multiplied by each term of the second binomial. So x should be multiplied by these two terms, and this 2 should also be multiplied by these two terms. Then like terms are combined. These multiplication can occur in any order as long as each of the first term is multiplied by each of the second two terms. Okay. The second method is we use FOIL method. Now what is FOIL? Where F stands for the first term, O stands for multiply the outer terms together, I stands for multiply the inner terms together, and L represents the multiply the last two terms. So when we look at the binomial, the first of each binomial will be these. F would be the first, would be multiply x and x. So when I multiply x with x, f, this is f, I'm going to write on top f. I'm going to follow FOIL. So multiply the first two terms, the first terms of each binomial, this binomial and that. It gives me x squared. Then it says O means multiply the outer terms together. Outer term means outer of both the binomials. So the outer of this binomial is this one, and the outer of this binomial is this one, because it's on the outside. It faces the outside. So I'm going to multiply now x with 4. I get 4x. The third is multiply the inner terms. The inner terms are 2 and x. When I multiply the inner terms, I get 2x. Now the last is L, means multiply the last two terms. So these are the last terms. Last of the binomials, 2 and 4, gives me 8. Now after that, list the 4 results of FOIL in order. So they are in order: x squared plus 4x plus 2x plus 8. Now I'm going to combine the like terms. I can only combine 4x and 2x, so I get this as is. 4 plus 2 is 6x. When I'm adding, I'm just keeping the variable as is, plus 8. So I used FOIL method, and then I simplified my answer, and make sure you write it in the standard form. Okay, this is the FOIL method. I'm going to do a couple of more questions so that it's easier for us to understand. Okay, now I'm going to do this one, 16. This is a binomial. I'm going to follow FOIL method. FOIL means first, outer, inner, last. It says here first, outer, inner, last. The first terms for the two binomials would be 8h and 3h. Multiply them. Outer would be 8h and 1 because they are facing the outside of the binomial. Inner would be these two, the ones inside. Multiply this 3 and 3h. And L would be representing the last. So this is the last one of this binomial, and this is the last one. Okay, so let's get started. First, 8h times 3h gives me 8 times 3 gives me 24. H times h, keeping in mind the product rule, gives me h squared. Okay, now outside, after the first, I have to multiply the outer ones. So these are the two outer ones. 8h times This, don't forget this negative 1. This is gonna give me negative 8h minus 8. Now inner are these two inside, when they are the ones that are together inside of the inner. So negative 3 times 3h gives me 9h. Now the last mean the last of this binomial and the last of this binomial. Okay, so this is the last, which gives me plus 9. If you can't remember the FOIL method, just remember that you have to multiply each term, this with these two and this with these two. Okay, then combine the like terms. I can just see I can combine this and this. So negative 8h and negative 9 gives me, this comes as is, minus 17h plus 9. Now they're already in the standard form because the highest exponent is then the second highest and then the term without the exponent. This is my final answer. The next and the last topic, the last question I'm going to do here is this one. 2m minus 5 to the power of 2. This can be written as, because it's in the power of 2, this means I'm multiplying it 2m minus 5 times 2m minus 5. Is it? Because when I write 7 squared, this means 7 times 7. If I write 25 squared, this means 25 times 25. In the same way, this whole square means 2m minus 5 times 2m minus 5. Now a binomial times a binomial. Okay, I'm going to multiply first of both the binomials. 2m times 2m gives me 4m squared. Outer 2m times negative 5 gives me 10m. Inner minus 10m. Last, 5 times 5 is 25. Negative becomes. Combine the like terms. It gives me 4m squared minus 10, and minus 10 gives me 20m plus 25. This is my final answer. Okay, I hope you understand the question. Assalamu alaikum.